Hello everybody, it's Dave from Area Arachnids here, and we're going to do a rehousing. I'm going to do the best I can to videotape this. Again, I work solo, but a lot of people ask me how a safe method to rehouse like old world species, especially things like African species or Asian species that are very fast, very defensive. So we're going to give it a shot here, and I'll show you what I do. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. I hope you learned something, and this can be applied to any size enclosure. You just need to get the right things to do it with. Okay, so first off, this is I can't remember, it's a Zilla brand type of critter keeper. I'm trying to get away from these critter keepers strictly because the root, the lids, they cave in when they stack. So I'm moving this spider here from this enclosure into a basketball or soccer ball display case. So I want to get the spider out of here because I want to reuse this dirt. There's nothing wrong with it. The same spider's going in it. So I want to use this as a base or the top layer of what I use for the next enclosure. So what I did is I took the lid off, and this is how I generally will do, disregard the ring light. This is what I generally do to house or rehouse old world spiders. I don't want them getting out. It has nothing to do with whether I'm afraid of them or not. I don't want them getting out, because if they get out, they run through the house. A, my wife is pissed off, and B, I lost the spider. So the best way to do it is to keep everything covered. So this has got 2 pieces of plexiglass that I made. I have a larger one that fits the whole entire one, but I cannot remember where I put it. So I drill a series of holes. These holes are large enough to put in a wooden skewer. You'll see that as we go. Again, this can be done with any size enclosure, and I'll show you that towards the end of the video, how this piece of plexiglass here will fit over top of different types of enclosures and how you can use them to rehouse basically any size spider. Of course, the smaller spiders in smaller vials, you don't really want to do something like this. You just kind of want to get them out of the vial into whatever the enclosure is next. But this will work well with like small deli cups, like 16 ounce or 32 ounce. You could put a catch cup inside there and then work the spider the best you can. So I'm going to get set up on the tripod with this phone, and we'll see you in a minute. Okay, everybody, so as you can see, we're at a side view. We're on the tripod, so I'm not going to be controlling the camera whatsoever. So I hope that you guys get what we're looking for here. As you can tell right now, I'm walking over to get my tools that I probably should have got before I pushed play. There's nothing inside the enclosure other than the dirt and the cork bark, which contains the tarantula. This is a Tarantula murinus female from the Mozambique locale. Now, sometimes this takes a little bit of playing around, so hopefully it won't take too long, but the big key of this is to be patient, not to rush this. I know a lot of people do rehousings, and I was this way in the beginning, where you'd want to get the spider out, you'd want to get it done, you want to get it back into the new enclosure and check it out, what it does in there. The major part about this is to please make sure that you're as patient as possible. Don't stress the spider out too much and let the tools do the work. Let the spider get to where we want to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the top part of the plastic off. Okay, now I expect her to come out in this manner. So we're going to put the plastic cup there. Okay, so now, again, I'm not guaranteeing you that she's going to come out right away. We may have to play around with things. I didn't want to take this cork bark out. Sorry for the noise, moving some things around. I didn't want to take the cork bark out specifically because I wanted you guys to be able to see, you can leave the stuff in that they live in. So here's a skewer. She has a back entrance here. Again, I don't know how well we're going to get her, or how well it's going to be getting her out of here. But she has a little escape hatch right here. I probably should have moved these 2 lids apart. This one and this one, because this one does have more. So basically what I'm seeing right now is that this is not, the setup that I have going on right now is not going to work. And the reason is because I can't get underneath the cork bark to entice her out. So what we need to do then is to move the catch cup out here and just set it down. So now we can do two things. I can go in through the lid of the the plastic pieces that you saw before that I made. Now we're going to actually get her webbing somewhat out of there. It's blocking her out. And yeah, if it'll stop. Then we can kind of open the top just a tad bit and move her cork. Now this should entice her to come out the back way. Sometimes you have to get tongs and actually move their hide. I got to get a flashlight to see exactly where she is right now. Is she still? Okay, you should be seeing her now. So now she's going to do what she's going to do. Okay, we don't want to force her to do anything that she doesn't want to do. But the first thing I'm going to do is, while she's on this side, well, she's not going to be on that side for long, is to try and get that cork bark out of there. But that doesn't seem like that's going to happen. See, now she's going to do a lot of running around. So the best thing to do is to try and manipulate the catch cup in a fashion that possibly she would run into it. Now you see she's over on this side. Over here, as you can see, she's coming in. What a beautiful, beautiful spider she is. She doesn't seem to be, now she's a little scared. So what we're going to do is, while she's huddled up there, we're going to reach in. We're going to grab the cork bark. That gives one less place for her to run and hide. Now we can manipulate her to try and get her into the catch cup. Now, I expect her to put up a fight. She's not going to be happy about being poked and prodded. Now she's going to want to start trying to do threat postures. She's actually being calmer than I expected her to be. She is very, very defensive. But you can see, generally, you can kind of just get them very safely. Just push them back a little bit. Push the cup down in front of her. Now she's done being defensive. She's back to being in flight mode. Let's see if we can't get her. Now she'll climb on the top. That's what I don't want her to do, is to continually climb around. Sometimes you have to move the top of the lid around so that the holes line up a little bit better for what you're trying to do with her. And she's on this side over here. She's actually upside down now. Now she's going to start striking. She struck once. Struck twice. Yeah, I know. Trust me. You're going to like this other enclosure better. Well, at least I'm going to like it better. You may not, I don't know. But all your old stuff's going right back in there. Now, a lot of people just say, you know, get them on the ground. If you could get her on the ground, you could just put the cup over top of her. But now that she's just riled up, it might be time to just kind of like walk away from her for a little while. Let's do that. Let's walk away from her for a little bit and let her calm down some. Okay, so like 10 seconds after I stopped messing with her, she went down to the dirt, and actually she walked around and crawled right into the deli cup itself. So now is where it gets just a little bit hairy for you, because you're going to take the top off. You have to get the top off in order to get the lid on, but you can see she's going to go straight back to the back side. She's not going to want to come forward. She's in a perfectly fine, relaxed state now. So that's the basic gist of getting them in the enclosure. And I'm going to make sure that we secure the lid, because again, we're going to use everything that's inside here. And I'll end the video with the new setup so you guys can see, and actually how I get her back out of here, if that's what, yeah, we probably should, huh? because it's basically the reverse of what I just did. As far as getting her in, we're going to use the holes in the back of the cup to get her back out, unless she decides just to crawl out on her own. So here she is. Get this enclosure out of the way. There she is right there. I know you don't have a really good view because of all the different lighting I got going on. I got the TV on up here, my ring light here, my regular light above me, and we're shining off the dresser. When I do tarantula rehousings that are bigger, species like this, I do them out here instead of on my work area over there. If I do in my work area over there, they're going to run. They have so many more things to get a hold of. Here, generally, if they run, they will run underneath this table and stay underneath there because they don't know what to do next. So that's why I kind of leave this like an island out in the middle of the floor space here and let them generally do their thing. So let me put the other enclosure together and we can put her in her new home. Okay, so here's what we did. We took the basketball enclosure. This is a little deeper. Well, not really a little deeper. I guess it's the same depth, and it's not actually as long, but she only utilized that one little area in there. The mapani wood that I had in there, she never touched it, never webbed it up. Of course, you didn't see that because I took that out prior. But yeah, so this is what we got. Okay, deeper here where she's going to dig right back in her same cork bark that she had before. We put a skull in there. Hopefully she'll do some webbing around that. Or if not, it's just for aesthetics, I guess. That's basically it. And a water dish, which I don't generally use with the baboons, but she seems to be a little bit more water driven than the other ones that I do have. So I wanted to give her something a little bit bigger. Shallow, doesn't need to be deep. And we're going to get her back in there now. Okay, so there she is. Once she gets down and she's a little bit spread out, maybe I'll try to get her to come down from there. Get her on the ground so I can get a good picture of her so you can see. If you look at her like that, she almost reminds you of a Psalmopoeus cambridgei. Very, very similar, the legs and the coloration and the setae. But she's an absolute gorgeous animal. She just molted not too long ago. I'm desperately trying to find a male for her. I don't know how successful I'm going to be, but hopefully this won't be the last bit of this video. You'll see a little bit more at the end with her spread out. But if not, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope that this helps some people be able to, sorry about shaking. That's one-handed there, trying to hold the light and the lid at the same time, or the camera. Yeah, hopefully this helps people try and a better way of rehousing old world tarantulas. I'm not sure how this video turned out as far as where the camera placement was, how much footage there actually is. So I'm going to watch it and then I'm going to upload it. Hopefully it's good. If you guys have any questions or any other methods that you guys use, there's also a bag method that a couple of my friends use. I've never tried that method before. This seems to work for me. You can also do it with vials. If you cut like pieces of cardboard with the exact size of the hole of the vial on it, put it over top of it, and then put a bigger vial on top of that, and then try and coax a spider into that. I always try to get them into a catch cup and then into their home, depending, especially old world tarantulas. It's easier for me to deal with them that way. It seems easier for them to deal with it that way, in my opinion. Again, that's just me here. I'm not saying this is the best method. It's just a method that can help people rehouse their tarantulas. So again, if there's no other footage past this, that means she didn't want to come down and post for us. If there is, we'll see you there. If not, we'll see you in the next video, and happy keeping.